Need to plan a date night for Valentine's Day this weekend, but want to do something a little different than a dinner or a movie?
Yeah, well, Sean Collier has you covered. He's here with his weekend guide. And Sean, you're starting off with something pink, and this is really a great option for sporty couples who maybe also want to give back at the same time.
Absolutely. We are going to get to a pair of cultural experiences, two options for the theater. Before that, let's watch some hoops. Let's just watch some hoops.
Okay.
Pink the Pete. This Sunday afternoon at the Peterson Event Center, you can head down to see Pitt women's basketball, who had some big wins last week. You can hope for another one against Virginia on Sunday, and this is for a good cause. If this is to benefit breast cancer research at McGee Women's Hospital. So wear your pink gear. They'll be in one game only pink uniforms. The thing I really like about this, if you are a breast cancer survivor, you go to the game for free. Up to 4 of your guests can go to the game for free.
Wow.
So it's really a day out for people who have been affected, but also one that is going to raise a lot of money. And if you haven't been to the Peterson Event Center for basketball, it's such a great environment because unlike maybe if you go to an NBA game, where you're going to be, way upstairs, you're really right on top of the action. You really feel like you're a part of it. At the Pete, no better time to visit if you haven't been there in a long time, maybe you've never been there, than for a good cause this Sunday afternoon.
Yeah, you get to support a good cause and have some fun at the same time. That's what it's all about. Okay, we have a theater option. People love the theater. Yeah.
What I really love about this pair of options is there's 2 fantastic one-man shows running in Pittsburgh right now. The first one, you see the title there, The Real James Bond Was Dominican. This is a true story. There is an international playboy of sorts from the Dominican Republic. Porfirio Rubirosa is his name. And he was friends with Ian Fleming, who wrote the James Bond novels.
Right.
And he was an elite polo player and a diplomat and a gambler, and it really seems like his life story, or big parts of it, were borrowed, perhaps,
for James Bond
to create the character of James Bond, and never, that was never really acknowledged. Certainly during his lifetime, he was the center of a lot of controversy himself. But it seems like this is where that character came from. In this one-man show, you're not only going to get that story and learn that history that maybe you've missed until now, but it has a lot of great context. It has a great performer. It's interactive. You'll be asked to read parts of the script yourself. You'll be asked to sing along, to get up and dance. What a great date night, as you said, especially for Valentine's Day weekend. And it's one act. It's about 80 minutes long. So you can get your dinner beforehand, see a whole show, get drinks afterwards. It's part of an evening, not the whole evening.
There's something to be said for that, too, where, there's not an intermission. It just keeps going, and it's a little shorter. All right, so you mentioned a second one-man show, and this is about someone who really people may not know about and they need to know about.
Yeah, a historical figure. Well, I guess they're both about historical figures that haven't necessarily had their stories told. Benjamin Lay was an abolitionist in the 1700s, so a century before the Civil War, was arguing that slavery was immoral from a religious perspective, and was repeatedly kicked out of his Quaker communities for making that argument. It's a really moving story. It's not, a lecture. It's not all serious. It also gets into this guy's life. He was a sailor. It's stories about him at sea. Another really gripping one-person show. And in a great location. Quantum Theater always has fantastic locations. This is in the Braddock Carnegie Library, which is in the process of being rehabilitated right now. They have a really dramatic room there that one of these places, there's so many of these old buildings in Pittsburgh that have these great spaces that you would never have a chance to see unless something like this pulls you in. Another great afternoon or evening at the theater, and another great date idea beyond the dinner, beyond let's just go out and then come back. See something remarkable this weekend.
You get a little history, too, with that.
You do.
Yeah.
Take advantage of what's happening in our city, for sure.
That's a lot.
All right.
And I have one of my own Sunday afternoon at the Lindsay Theater in Sewickley, the beautiful Lindsay Theater in Sewickley. We're going to have a little Oscar talk. The ceremony's coming up in just a couple of weeks, and I will be there with Amanda Waltz from the City Paper, Megan McLaughlin, Lindsay Barr, some local film writers and film nerds talking about what to expect at this year's Oscars, and that one is free Sunday afternoon.
Love that.
And you can meet Sean Collier in person.
Yeah, and I'll say hello.
Yeah, you know all, you do all.
He's very friendly.
He is very friendly. Yeah. All right, Sean, great stuff. Great stuff, as always.
And remember, you can get Sean's Weekend Guide each Thursday right here on PTL and in Pittsburgh Magazine online.